Here on Polk Place, we like to feature the efforts of nonprofits and government entities within the Polk County community. One such government entity making a difference in the lives of the residents in Polk County is the Polk County Board of County Commissioners Social Services Department, Elderly Services. Joining us in studio to talk a little bit about what it is that they do is Hope Jones. She is the leader of the folks over at Polk County Social Services, Elderly Services. How you doing today?
Doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to learning what it is that Elderly Services does for the residents of Polk County. Talk to me a little bit about the mission of Elderly Services and how you meet that mission.
Okay. The mission of Elderly Services is to improve the life of elderly people within the community. The way that we go about doing this is through various services. We have in-home services that can assist people with bathing, dressing, some light homemaking, maybe some grocery shopping for them if they can't get out. And we also, respite for caregivers. We have 2 adult daycare centers that provide a protective environment for people who need that level of supervision and gives an opportunity for their caregivers to be able to get a little bit of a rest from the 24/7 care. The daycare, one is in Lakeland and one is in Haines City, but they serve all of Polk County. And then we also have a nutrition program. We have 14 nutrition meal sites, and we also have a home delivery component to our nutrition program.
When we state the obvious or talk about the need for this program, what would happen if this program wasn't here? Talk to me about what we would face taxes wise, what the residents would have to incur if these programs weren't available to the folks that needed them the most.
Well, probably the most critical aspect would be that predominantly our clients, the in-home clients in particular, are frail, and most are low income. And without the assistance in the home, then they would be facing probably going into an institution too soon, perhaps going into a nursing home too soon, and or just a general decline, a much more rapid decline in their health and their physical capabilities than happens when they have assistance.
2 things that come to mind when put in that situation: dignity and quality of life, allowing them to maintain that. Talk about the importance of that and how it keeps them as a productive member of the community.
Right. Well, dignity is what we all like to have, and as you get older and become more frail and become more dependent, people who lived lives where they were very independent, they worked or were homemakers or whatever they were doing, and then they start to decline physically and aren't able to do for themselves any longer, they are at risk of greater injury and falls and poor nutrition. Very often people are living alone, perhaps their spouse has died and they're not motivated anymore. Even if it's just an elderly couple living together, they're not motivated anymore to make nutritious meals or care for themselves. They've lost their energy, maybe even lost their drive. They sometimes can become very isolated. So we try to help prevent some of those problems that escalate the decline that can occur.
We talked a little bit about those that are frail and have to stay within their homes. We also have a mobile senior community also, and we cater to them also. Let's talk a little bit about those programs too.
Okay, we sure do. We'd like to cater to those mobile folks as well. We have 14 meal sites in the county, and they're located in all the different cities that we have here, almost all the different cities that we have here. And they operate generally about 8:30 to 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Hot meal is provided daily. There's no charge, although we do accept donations. That helps the program go further. And there are various activities. There's just the general opportunity for socialization and a good balanced meal. And then I refer to each site sort of having its own personality, because very often the activities are driven by the individuals that participate at the sites. For instance, some people might like to play cards, so you can have a card game going on over at one table, and you have some dominoes going on at the other, and maybe a board game. Most of the centers, people still love bingo, and they generally have a bingo day. Some will have a movie on Fridays, movie and popcorn day. Different centers offer various types of exercises. These aren't strenuous exercises, they're chair exercises for the most part. So it's not as though you have to be overly physically fit to participate, but it does offer an opportunity for some range of motion and some strengthening. And we also have speakers come in to discuss information that may be pertinent to people that are 60 and over. And that might be Social Security or Veteran Services, or information related to Medicare or Medicaid even. So there's all sorts of opportunities that we try to provide. And then we're also very open to ideas from the people that are participating. The program also includes grocery shopping or transportation to grocery shopping, usually about once a week or once every 2 weeks. And the best way to describe the way the funding operates is it's all about food. And so our activities, for instance, if we go shopping, those who are near a super, Walmart for instance, can go there, but if they don't have a super Walmart with the groceries, then they go to the grocery store. So there's lots of opportunities there.
Now, when you say centers, are these community centers? Are these run by the county? How are the buildings maintained?
Yeah, they're either city or county buildings, depending upon which one it is. We have county buildings are at Wabash, Medela, and Eloise, and then some city buildings are Lake Wales, Eagle Lake. We have 2 in Winter Haven, Lake Silver, and then Lake Maud, which is a community center, and then Haines City. Lake Morton Senior Center is operated by Catholic Charities, so there's lots of, we have the community center in Fort Meade, and I may have left 1 or 2 out. Bartow, there's a residential community, and Lakeland also, there's a residential community, but people from the community are welcome and participate there.
When we talk about partnerships, everybody may think that, county government is this huge web, but county government is just maybe one part of that web. There are city entities, there are nonprofits that all play a role in taking care of our seniors.
Absolutely. We're very fortunate. We have faith and action groups. We have an organization named Senior Orphans that's a nonprofit. We have all the cities where we have facilities are also very supportive of our meal programs. Mm-hmm.
One thing with 14 different sites or so, an issue's got to be mobility. Talk about how we get the seniors to and from.
Some people walk, some people drive themselves and maybe bring a couple of other friends that are participants there. And for those who can't do either one or can't get a ride, then we provide transportation.
And how is the transportation provided?
Transportation is provided in vans by our staff and is part of the program. Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk a little bit about the meals themselves. As an elderly resident of the county, nutrition is important, and this is put together for them to help them maintain. Talk about the nutritional level.
Okay, each meal is nutritionally balanced to meet 1/3 of the daily requirement of a person 70 and over, and so it isn't just thrown together. It's a very specific meal. We have a dietitian that has to review all of our menus, and we also, by the way, offer nutrition counseling and nutrition education for people who are identified as at risk, perhaps, for not being nutritionally stable. or if you just think that you'd like to have that. And that's another component too, is we have nutrition education flyers monthly for the people that come into the meal sites or for the home delivered meal side. And so it's a nutritionally balanced meal. Very often when people get to be, as I mentioned earlier, they just aren't motivated to prepare much for themselves, so they might only be eating a sandwich or a bowl of cereal or some quick oatmeal. And where those have value, they're not as balanced. You sort of lose that balanced nutrition as you start to age, because your taste changes. And so we not only offer that meal at nice, balanced, 1/3 of what you need to have, but you also are in an environment where you're socializing and eating with other people, which also, that isolation tends to cause people to not really be very motivated to have balanced nutrition.
When I think residents and businesses of Polk County, it's a giving, loving community, and in order for those residents and businesses to give back, are there opportunities that they could possibly either volunteer or even sponsor meals somewhere along that effect to work with you guys?
Absolutely. We're always happy to take donations. Give, please.
Exactly. Tell me how they could get involved with that.
Well, they could call our office at 863-534-5320 and let us know that they'd like to do some sort of volunteer activity. We also, we're very fortunate, we have groups, nonprofits and for-profits, that like to step up and do special events such as Christmas gifts. And again, often with the elderly, they have very low income, and so they're not really, they don't have any disposable income to speak of, so they're not treating themselves to things beyond just the basics. And so a Christmas gift for an elderly person might be a set of towels, or a set of sheets, or the whole thing, the comforter, things that wear out that people can replace. Well, when you start to get to be elderly, you just don't have the income to be replacing items. And so those are really terrific gifts. There's lots and lots of things that you can do for the elderly in the way of giving. And then we always love to have volunteers. Now, many of the volunteers at our meal sites, upon whom we rely to help keep those sites going, are participants themselves. But someone who, and the age group for the most part is 60 and above. That's the program age requirement. But if you're younger than 60 and you just want to come in and volunteer because you like being around people that are elderly, then we're always welcoming volunteers.
Hope, I've been lucky enough to cover a lot of things over the years that Elderly Services has put on. And honestly, the staff that you have is a really caring, loving staff. Talk about the effort that they put into this program and they put into the folks that come to Elderly Services for help.
Okay. We do have a very dedicated group of people. They are all very devoted to helping improve the lives of seniors. And through the various services, different jobs have different responsibilities, so they're at different levels. But we were talking about the meal program, and those folks are right there all the time, and they can become very close to the clients, and you're driving to their home, picking them up, taking them back, making sure that they get safely in their house, that sort of thing. They don't just drop them off and drive away. And so we really do have people who become very, very dedicated and just care tremendously, and are always seeking. Our case managers, for instance, on the in-home service side, are always seeking more services for their clients. They're never satisfied with just the minimal services. They're always pushing, this person needs more. They're very much advocates for the elderly.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for coming on today and letting us know and letting the folks know at home about the important services that you have to offer within Elderly Services.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. the folks at Polk County Elderly Services is making a difference in this community that we work, live, and play in. And you too at home can make a difference to those folks. Now, if you'd like more information on some of the programs, we want to talk about the hot lunch and socialization opportunities for residents age 60 and over. They also have nutritional education and counseling available. Also, they make presentations by local organization regarding issues pertinent to seniors, and there's grocery shopping trips and transportation for those who need it. And they also provide home delivered meals for seniors who are homebound. It's Polk County Social Services, Elderly Services. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at various locations throughout the county. If you need more information on it, you can call Elderly Services at 863-534-5320 or go to the Polk County website at polk-county.net to check out more information.